How dare you?
And with that, we were live. Just like that, Scotty boy. We're back, man.
Just like that.
For the Saturday Shenanigans stream. Yes, indeedy. It's gonna get a bit fruity in here, I think. A bit whiffy in a moment, almost, you know?
Something smells, Kev.
Yes, something smelly this way comes. But how you doing, bro? Been a long time since I've seen you, you know?
Oh, it's been forever, man.
I know. What you been up to?
Yeah. Not much. I got kind of pranked today, actually.
Oh.
My little sister kind of pranked me, and I was actually surprised. I was like, "Hey, cool." And she decided to. She's like, "Hey, you want a jelly bean?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I commenced to eating said jelly bean, and said jelly bean was not all it seems. Said jelly bean had ghost pepper in it, actually Carolina Reaper.
Oh, but you like your spicy stuff, right?
Yes, that's why I was like, oh, okay. I was like, good play, nice.
What is it with this, dude? I mean, you have to explain this to me, right? I mean, you get these competitions and things. You get like grown men, like getting ready for weeks preparing. It's almost like they go into some kind of fight club, you know, getting ready for the big bout, and it's man versus chili. I've seen grown men reduced to liquid puddles on the floor as they melt under the pressure. Why? What in God's earth possesses people to eat something that makes them physically ill? Come on, Scott.
I don't know. I really can't explain it. It's one of these kind of. I would put it in the category of people who are like adrenaline junkies. You know, like the thrill of it or something like that.
Bungee jumping, jumping out of a plane, ghost chilies, ghost peppers, whatever you want to call them, ghosties, not to be eaten, man. Are they the wildest ones?
The wildest ones I have had. No, ghost peppers. They've been topped. It's the Carolina Reaper. The Carolina Reaper, I think, is the apex right now.
It sounds evil, literally evil.
I've heard of. There's been whisperings. There's been.
Oh, there are rumblings in the chili market, dude. Is there like, what's going on, man?
There's rumblings in the chili community.
Have they made a murder hornet chili? Have they? Go on, please tell me they have.
That there's a new hybrid. See, that's all these chilies are. They're hybrids. They cross really, hot chilies from one area with another area, and create.
Are they, Scott? Are they genetically modified?
They are genetically modified.
Yeah, now I'm getting a picture here.
But yeah, so this jelly bean, it was spiked with Carolina Reaper, I think. Carolina Reaper or ghost pepper. And anyways, these jelly beans, they're funny. They come in a pack and they're called Bean Boozled. So if you want to Bean Boozled.
Do you think Bill should go around with them and hand them out anytime he's like exercised a property? He should leave some Bean Boozled on the mantelpiece.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I actually, I don't know. Even though they're kind of a prank jelly bean, there's a mixture. There's like jalapeno ones in there. There's habanero ones. There's cayenne peppers, and then there's like the super hot ones. And so it's kind of like a luck of the draw if you're gonna get a milder one or if you're gonna get like a Carolina Reaper one. And I must say, I kind of like the milder ones. The habanero ones were actually pretty good. Like I could actually snack on those.
My friend Scott, he's one of these masochists that likes to put himself through pain. You know, I think about Scotty now, and it's really weird because me and Scotty, we worked together for like 15, 16 years. Two of the fittest guys you know, right? And he's younger than me. and he ended up getting something wrong, some kind of blood syndrome that weakened his immune system and things. And I tell you what, though, when I think about it, you know, when you put your body through some of the chillies and some of the experiences that I watched Scott going through, it really should be no surprise that it took its toll on that man's body. What he was doing to himself at times, he had to wear gloves to eat some of these things. You know, when you're told to like handle things with gloves before you eat, like don't get it on your skin, why on earth would you be eating that? Oh, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just throw that into my belly. That makes a good idea.
See, me and my brother Julian, we're the two in the house that we just take the eating the hot stuff on a whole nother level. Like we try to find the most ridiculously hot stuff at the store and buy it, you know. And you know, we like it. Look, first of all, like I'm half Mexican, so I kind of got that in me anyways, like where I like spicy stuff. But over the years, I just always felt the need to push the level, push the envelope a little bit higher and a little bit higher and a little bit higher. And it's just like with anything else, you kind of like start developing a tolerance to the weaker stuff, to the lower stuff. You're like, ah, come on, jalapeno, that ain't nothing, you know.
Even in the army, I remember going to curry houses with the guys and things, and they'd be insisting on having like foul curry. This was the stuff that they wouldn't even put on the menu. You had to like whisper a code word and things like that to, you know, you had to be in the know to get this kind of curry. That's how potent this stuff was, man. You'd probably be put on a wanted list now. They probably wouldn't let you get on an aircraft with this kind of stuff. It's potent, you know. And the shape that these guys would get into trying to eat this thing. And I would just sit there, Scott, you know, with my beer and a plate of chips or something, and I'd be, again, you know, when I look back, I was always that dude that observed what was going on in the penitentiary. Yeah, yes, indeed. And I tell you, it just used to bamboozle me. I don't know about bean boozled. I was bamboozled.
But hey, I mean, look, spicy food, I mean, spicy stuff and peppers and stuff in general, it's good for the blood system. I mean, in all seriousness, it's good for the circulatory system. It's good for your heart. I guess when you flush a little fire through your veins, it kind of loosens stuff up. You know what I mean? So, hey, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I was bean boozled today.
Bean boozled. I can picture the packet, man. You'd have Bill on the front of it and say, "You need to get into warrior mode to eat bean boozled." I'm telling you, man.
And just because I'm a masochist like that, I ate 2 more of the Carolina.
not the. I'm okay. I'm okay. I was just clearing my throat. In case some SWAT team comes through the ceiling or something, you know. We've got one. Oh no. Oh, my bunker sound effect isn't working, but that's okay. We've got one. We've got one. No, it is working. But folks, we've got a plethora of madness, and it's going to be shenanigans along the way. And I think we may be about to meet what could be a very prominent character on the show. From time to time, we come across characters, animals, and inanimate objects that really win a place in our heart. The last one of which that I really remember, and it still makes me smile to think of, is the traffic cone. Remember we found out there were really weird things going on with traffic cones? And there's probably still really bizarre things going on with traffic cones, although maybe traffic cones are safer at this time with people spending more time indoors. I don't know. Or maybe traffic cones are being abused more because their owners aren't getting out. It could work both ways. But I think today is the day that we say goodbye to the traffic cone and we say hello to a new character that's going to grace our screens for a while, I think, Scott. Because I've come across a really interesting little animal, and it's got what I would call almost, dare I call it a superpower? Because Antarctic penguins poop out so much laughing gas that it has funny effects on the researchers. Yes, look at that cute little fella there. Look at him. You liking this, man?
Hey, I like penguins.
I like penguins as well. Penguins don't harm anyone.
And not only that, the penguin holds a special place in my heart because I am an advocate of the operating system Linux, and their mascot is the penguin. So
penguins have got attitude, dude. They walk about with their chests out, their wee chests out, and they give it that wee swagger that they've got. I think penguins have got attitude. But these ones, they've got a lot more than attitude going on because Antarctica's king penguins, and they're called king for a reason, they emit such copious amounts of nitrous oxide, or laughing gas, via their feces that researchers went a little cuckoo studying them, according to Danish scientific study published on Thursday. Not making this up. This comes from like Science Alert, folks. It's a genuine website. So penguin guano, what term, Scotty, eh? There's something I never thought I'd find myself talking about ever in public. Penguin guano.
So is guano just a universal term for animal feces? Because I always thought it just was specific to bats.
Hey, don't be putting the penguins in the same bracket as those harmful little buggers.
I know.
They got a bad, I suppose they've got a bad rap now, right? They need a good PR firm coming out of 2020, the bats. Let's face it. A new Batman movie might go a long way to changing people's attitudes. I don't know. But it says here, penguin guano produces significantly high levels of nitrous oxide around their colonies, said the head of the study, Professor Bo Elberling of the University of Copenhagen's Department of Geosciences and Natural Resource Management. You know, how does that go down in the pub, Scott? You know, pretty cool if you can say to people, yeah, I'm a fighter pilot. I'm an astronaut. What do you do, mate? I'll impress the girls with this one. Wait till she hears what I do. I spend months at a time wading my way through penguin shite, laughing my head off. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to impress too many people, Scott.
Something tells me that maybe if you're doing that, if you're in that field of research or study, you're probably not the kind to be in a pub.
Good point. Good point. You might have a point there. Even if you were the type to go into a pub, there's a good chance you might not smell good enough to go into a pub if you're kind of spending the majority of your time surrounded in penguin guano. You know? I'm quite liking this guano term. I can see me taking guano a lot further than this story. Guano is going to live with me forever. Yes, indeedy. But let's go back, right? And it says here that while studying colonies of king penguins on the Atlantic island of South Georgia, between South America and Antarctica, the researchers went cuckoo from being surrounded by penguin poop. I'm not making it up. I'm going to have to keep saying that. Besides being a strain on the climate. Okay, folks, we need to make a decision here. Don't let how cute get in the way of the climate. They're bad in this, Scott. They're really bad. Because what it says here, nitrous oxide has an effect very similar to the sedative laughing gas used at the dentist's. And after nosing about in guano for several hours, one goes completely cuckoo. Here's an idea then. Stop. What does it call it? Nosing around in it. There's one idea, you know. One begins to feel ill and get a headache, Elberling said.
Really? Were they really feeling ill and getting a headache, or
I
were
know there's
they
a problem in the UK with this stuff. It's obviously I'm too old. I've missed this kind of party scene where the laughing gas is a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing, man. And I'm just wondering, were they really feeling that ill and getting a headache, or were they really enjoying their research out there?
Yeah, were they volunteering for like 24-hour shifts, 7 days on, 7 days on, you know? I'll volunteer. So the nitrous oxide is explained by the penguin's diet of krill and fish, which contains high levels of nitrogen. And nitrogen is released from the penguin's feces into the ground and soil. Bacteria then convert it into nitrous oxide, a greenhouse gas. Now, this is the bit here I kind of missed out, because this is the bit that could trigger a 1,000 protests. Nitrous oxide is 300 more times polluting to the environment than carbon dioxide. So, Scott, like I say, we best not go and tell these, like Uncle Bill about these little buggers, right? Because if Uncle Bill finds out about them, he's heading for the South Atlantic. He's on a mission, isn't he? Look at that. Who knew? Who knew that that was causing more damage to the environment than people flying around on private jets, eh? Who knew?
So we were first told...
How dare you?
So we were first told that we needed to save the penguins, right?
Yep.
What do we do now? Are they advocating for the mass extermination of penguins because they're putting up greenhouse gases? No, I'm sure it's our fault somehow.
You know what would make for a really great David Attenborough documentary, though? If you, like, shipped some polar bears down to that island and just watched polar bears laughing all day long. Because polar bears are pretty cool. They're pretty goofy big guys, right? They're just lying around laughing away at themselves, man. The penguins cracking jokes, shiting here, there, everywhere. Big polar bears loving it.
Do they propose any kind of solution or what they think in the last paragraph?
Well, they say here, while nitrous oxide emissions in this case are not in... All right, so they get a pat... All right, it's just us pesky humans.
How dare you?
I know, Greta, I know. While nitrous oxide emissions in this case are not enough to impact Earth's overall energy budget, our findings contribute to new knowledge about how evil penguins, about how penguin colonies affect the environment around them, which is interesting because colonies are generally becoming more and more widespread. They're amassing down at the South Pole, dude. They're like gaining numbers. They're going to march soon, man.
Well, remember I proposed a ridiculous theory, last week about, Trump and an army of murder hornets.
They're going to take on the Antarctic penguins.
Well, the new, there's another theory I might have to propose. Maybe the penguins are about to rebel. They're about to gas the planet and get rid of us.
They're gonna. Are they about to make penguins great again, Scott?
I think so.
I think so, man.
Mappa.
Yeah.
Mappa.
Yeah. Backed up by some really kind of radicalized polar bears from the north. And they'll get us in a pincer movement. Is that what they're going to do, man? I see it happening, man.
But look, they don't want to. They want us to die peacefully, right? They want to take us out, so they're going to use the nitrous oxide. That way, we just die laughing.
Yeah.
We're just like ah.
Hey, at this point, bring on the penguins. Get up here, penguins. I'm telling you, man.
I do like that they just give the penguins a pass, even though they're producing something that's 300 times more pollutant.
Could you say that penguins are toxic? Are they? Is it toxic penguinality that they've got? The same as we've got, like, toxic masculinity and things like that. Are they toxic penguins?
I don't know.
I tell you what, right? This is really freaky. Here he is. Bill Bean just messaged me, man. How crazy is that after we were talking about being bean-boozled? That's weird, dude. That's weird. Much love, brother. And I'll be live with Bill tomorrow night, folks. On air right now. Having some light fun. Yes, there we go. Love that guy. Big Bill, man. Telling you. Wonder what he'd make of the pooping penguins, eh?
Was it? See, we've got people in the chat to do the PPP, right?
Oh, lots of it, Scott. It's like it's a tradition. Yes.
Hey, yes. So now that we got like pooping penguins, do we have like PPPPP?
Oh, you see, now it's gonna get all kind of weird, in it. It's like tongue tying, man.
Puff pass with the pooping penguins.
Oh,
it's like a tongue twister, isn't it?
It's just it's that much of a tongue twister. I ain't even gonna try it. I ain't even gonna try it, dude. I ain't.
Sally sells, she sells by the seashore, something like that.
Are you one of these people that can just do these things?
Peter Piper picked a pickled pepper.
Holy shamoly. Hang on. Scott's so cracked out his superpower, man. He's cracked out his superpower. So if ever we're stuck in some like riddle wrapped up in a conundrum in like some Indiana Jones type adventure that might happen once we go all virtual, Scott, and some like reptilian says you have to like do this whole tongue twister thing to get out of here. You're the man. You're good. No bother, Snake. I'm doing it, man. Give me it. You the dude?
No, the what?
Are you the dude? Yep.
Yeah. I guess. I hope.
Well, tomorrow, before I forget, we're going to be talking about this is going to make for an interesting topic with Bill. Paul versus Paul McCartney. Never looked into the whole. Oh, Scott's face. He's never looked into that one.
Well, is this the whole
Paul McCartney thing?
Well, where he
got replaced. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't looked too deep into that, but I've heard
it's actually quite compelling. When I first heard about it, I thought to myself, like, I had that knee-jerk reaction you sometimes have. Oh, come on. Get out of here. That's crazy stuff, right? But then when you start to get into it, you start looking at what's there, it's interesting. And of course, why? Well, you have to then look at the backstory of the Beatles and see that they were more than just a pop band. Oh, they were very much a tool of social engineering. Big time. You know, so was there a need to replace them? I don't know, but we'll get into that tomorrow with Bill Bean. We covered the Manson family last week. That was really interesting as well. So we're going down some rabbit holes with Bill. I'm really enjoying that, man.
Yeah, and Jimmy has a lot of good information about the Manson family as well.
Him an epic journey, man. I think the two of them, yeah.
So that's a whole crazy topic in itself,
isn't it?
You know,
it really is. It's so many avenues that you could do individual shows on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you something else that we've got for tonight. We're obviously I'm getting more hairy as the weeks go on over here. What I'll be like by the time I'm allowed to get to a barber shop, who honestly knows? But I found out something quite interesting today, Scott, about facial furniture, about the old beard. It's not something I ever thought I would find out. However, what if I was to tell you, and check out this absolutely fantastic specimen of a beard there. Look at that thing. Absolutely chiseled to perfection. We'll talk more about this rugged individual in a moment, who I think's never stepped foot in a forest in his life. But it says male beards may have evolved to protect chins from punches. Initial thoughts, Mr. Lopez?
Makes sense.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Every other animal has developed some kind of a defense mechanism from the way that they challenge each other, right? That they fight. I mean, deer, they've evolved antlers, you know. So when the males are competing for a female, they battle it out with their antlers. You know, and you just see that in all sort of a spectrum of animal life, you know, and organisms around the planet. So maybe, you know, we did develop that facial hair, that beard to kind of soften the blow of a punch when two males are going at it for a female or something. You know what I mean? Arguing over something, or because hey, toxic males like to challenge each other.
I think we should be living in a time where the beard is an actual status symbol. He who haveth the best beard is elevated in society. But I want to talk about this guy briefly, Scott, because I've got a theory about him, don't I? I really do have a theory about this gentleman here. I don't think this rugged-looking individual's ever been in a forest before. I really don't. I think he's the kind of guy that throws himself under a falling tree, almost like to be a tree hugger. He looks like he's had far too much soy, man. He's too chiseled. I can look at his hands. He's got hands that are baby soft. He hardly even knows how to drink out of that cup because it's outdoors. It's rugged stuff. What, drinking outdoors? Look at him, man. He's like, nah, dude.
You can definitely tell that that was more of a photograph moment for him as opposed to him actually out there cutting that tree down, because he's just a little too clean cut. Even though he's got the beard and everything, it's a little too managed.
He's thinking, if I get punched in the face right now, I'm all right, because I've got a big beard. So if anyone comes and runs up and punches me in the face, I'm jamming.
I've never seen a worker out there, chopping trees down, and
look at his unblemished skin. Look at him, man. He looks like a porcelain doll.
I've never seen a lumberjack look that trimmed and clean. Let's just say,
dude. Look at it, man. That's like I say, it's sculpted, man. Yeah. Marty's agreeing with, definitely an actor, a model, a toxic soy boy, according to Baby Yoda. Could be. But let's just see what it's going to say here. It says, as a proud beard wearer throughout my adult life, I am not about to test a new theory that early male humans evolved the ability to grow full, bushy beards in order to protect their jaws from at least some of the force of a punch. Do you have time to grow one before your next family reunion? And how did they test this? Let's find out. So, as is the case in other species of great apes, human males perpetrate the vast majority of violence, and most of these acts of aggression are directed at other what? When human males fight hand to hand, the face is usually the prime target. Depending on their size, as a man that stands 5'4" on his tiptoes, I find the testicles make a really good opening shot in any fight, Scott.
That's hey, maybe that's why we've evolved to grow the bush.
You see, a man of my size doesn't need to worry about anyone punching me down there. You'd have to lie down to get me down there. So, see,
nature took into account people like you. That's why the bush is there.
You see, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. So when human males fight hand to hand, well, sometimes the face is usually the primary target, unless you're in Glasgow. Consequently, it's not surprising that human males suffer substantially more injuries to the face from interpersonal violence than do females. Epidemiology studies of interpersonal violence dictate that males suffer 68 to 92% more injuries to the face from fights than do females. Don't discriminate. If a woman wants to grow a beard to protect her face from a punch, that's okay with me. That's a bit judgy. Whoever done that's a bit judgy. Get woke, mate. Get woke. Okay? You need to be a bit more like the guy in the advert. He looks very woke, this one. You know?
You think Manshell's got a pretty strong jaw?
Dang, dude. Dang, I imagine punching Manshell in the jaw and your hand just shattering. Oh, know what I mean? Like titanium jaw, man.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Absolutely, dude. So that's the first punch delivered by the University of Utah researchers E.A. Becerris, S.E. Nailway, and DR carrier. Right, that's got to be some anagram for we've got far too much time on our hands at the University of Utah, right? Gotta be. In the paper, impact protection potential of mammalian hair, testing the pugilism hypothesis for evolution of the human facial hair. You're never getting a Nobel Prize for this one, guys. I'm just saying.
You know, they were just sitting around, and essentially it all boiled down to, can we do a research paper on a beard and figure out how to do this?
Yeah, it's almost like it's a joke. How ridiculous can we make a study and still get it funded? You know? Or maybe they were just looking around one day at manly men who can grow beards, and they thought to themselves, what purpose does the beard serve? I reckon in ancient times, the beard probably a bit more purpose would have been maybe to save some dinner for later on, you know? Just let it kind of hang about on the beard, Scott, you know, dip it in the soup, maybe. Leave it hanging around. A bit of warmth. Surely warmth over like protection. I've never thought to myself, how would I protect myself? Well, I'm going to wrap myself in hair. That'll start. That'll be a good way to go, right?
Dual purposes, Kev. Dual purposes.
Yeah. Well, it's a crazy thing.
It's a multi-dimensional beard.
Oh shit, dude! It's got like portals and things.
You know what? We need to ask our leading expert. We're gonna have to ask the poopster.
We have, when it comes to beards, there's only one man to ask. In fact, it's actually an affront that they didn't approach Popeye for a quote, given that they're talking about the beard. You know?
I bet Popeye was the research subject at the university. They had him in a room. They were sitting there poking and prodding his beard, taking samples.
I'm going to steal your word from earlier, and I can't even remember why you were using it, but is Popeye the quintessential beard wearer of his time?
He's the quintessential.
Nice. And that's Scott's word, folks. I've stole it off Scott before the show. I'm already declaring that word of the day. Absolutely. So it goes on to say, on you go, man.
What was my spicy word yesterday? I can't even remember what my word was. I'll think of it here in a minute. Just continue on.
Damn, dude, damn. It was a good word too, and we forgot it. We are getting like goldfish, man.
Effervescing.
Effervescing, man. That was it. That's the one. Yeah. There we go then. So they point out that this tendency to rearrange faces has resulted in male facial bones evolving much differently than females. It's long been assumed that facial hair was strictly a sexual device to show masculinity. How come people's grandmothers end up with facial hair then? What's that all about? You know, are they trying to be masculine? Social dominance and strength to females who already have other different ways to attract males. I imagine we can get into that another night. However, the beard covers the mandible, one of the most commonly fractured facial bones in fights, and one that brought grave consequences before the advent of modern surgery. So could a big bushy beard block blows to the mandible? If only those Duck Dynasty guys were boxers. Do you think Santa over the years has been attacked that many times that he thought, I need to start growing a beard here?
About to say, as Santa, I mean, can he take a good uppercut?
He can take one off Tyson Fury, man. He stands there, just kind of takes it right. Wow, wallet, man.
I mean, I'm sure, you know, there's probably been some aggressive Florida men who thought that Santa was breaking and entering.
Oh, we've got a Florida man coming up, don't we, Scott? We've
yes,
got a Florida man coming up. Well, I'm not too impressed about this whole theory, to be honest with you. And I think giving it any more airtime is probably just going to add comedy to the people who actually done the study. They'll think there's even people talking about it on YouTube now. Can you believe it? And I still, I maintain that man is more tree hugger than tree cutter.
Yeah, he does not look like the rugged, woodsy individual to
Come on,
me.
folks, give us a 1 for tree hugger. Give us a 2 for tree cutter. 1 for hugger, 2 for cutter. What do you think, Scott? Definitely a hugger, right?
Yeah, I think so.
We'll wait for the 1s and 2s to come in the chat room. I'll turn off my camera. It's malfunctioning. I'm not PPP at all, honestly. Maybe this guy's wanting to be Santa. Look at him sitting there. He's thinking, when I grow up, I'm going to move to Greenland. I'm going to stop cutting down trees. I'm going to buy myself some reindeer. I'm going to fly myself around the world once a year. And take a hell of a punch. Yeah, you see the chat room are coming in. They're with us, Scott.
The ones are rolling in. Yeah.
Do you think Santa maybe grew it to protect himself from like a really kind of raucous reindeer one year? Because a kick in the face of a reindeer's going to hurt. Unless you've got a beard that looks like that.
No, I think he's evolved that from like fighting all of the elves that he slave labors, and he has to put down rebellions every once in a while.
Santa got an enemy. Every good guy needs a bad guy, but don't they?
No, what it is? No, he's evolved it because of he has to fight Krampus every year.
Oh, don't go Krampus, man. It's too early in the year for Krampus. Holy shamoly. Do you know, after last night's show, why I thought of Krampus? I've no idea. He was never at Yale. But I had to explain 322 to my mum, Scott, like we were talking about. I told her about the shenanigans with Geronimo and all the rest of it. I think she thought I was joking. Honestly, the shenanigans, mother. The shenanigans. Scott could confirm all of it. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Yeah, Kev was giving you the real deal. I mean, you look into Skull and Bones, Yale, 322.
There is a rabbit hole, indeed.
Man.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So listen, right? I found something today, Scott, that I thought was gone. Now, I'm not saying this is a Mandela effect, but it sure felt like one when I seen it, right? I thought, and it caused a kind of wave of nostalgia. And it took me back in the day, you know, growing up. Before you had Netflix and all these kind of things that we've got now where you can watch box sets and binge watch. It was before binge watching was a thing, Scott. But do you remember that mecca? That almost like some kind of mirage in the desert, dude, where you could go and get your favorite movies at a far simpler time, in a far simpler world, where Blockbuster existed. There's still a Blockbuster, man. I thought it was gone.
I thought so too. I thought the last Blockbuster was like located in Alaska or something like that, and that because there's still so many people in rural Alaska that don't have access to internet. So like there's actually still a necessity for a Blockbuster video, and I thought that that's where the last one was located. And even then I thought that they were planning on shutting it down, but obviously that's not the case.
I mean, I'm actually fabricating a part of my childhood, because growing up in the back end of the tramp's pocket of Scotland in the middle of nowhere, things like Blockbusters only existed on the television, Scott. And in reality, I used to have to wait to get like VHS tapes off a guy, you know, a guy with a dog, something like that. And then eventually they kind of cleared out a cupboard in like the local grocery store, and they had like 5 of the years, or like 10-year-old, maybe 10-year-old films in there, but about 5 to 10 of them to choose from. And we thought it was awesome. We thought it was awesome. Wow. It wasn't Blockbusters, right? But wow, you could get a movie for 4 nights. Oh, what? Yeah, back in the day when it was simpler, Scotty.
Yeah, here in the States, there was Blockbuster and then there was Hollywood Video. And depending on like which one you lived closer to, or if there were, what was located in your town, is basically where you went. And so where I grew up in Wichita, we lived by a Hollywood Video, and so that's where I went. But Blockbuster was big too. I mean, they were everywhere. Those were the two main video rental places, and video games. Don't forget, Kev. That's where people went to go rent Super Nintendo, PlayStation, all the games. That's where the kids had to go if they were going to try something out before they bought it.
Back in the day, mate. Back in the day.
Hey, man.
You think about that though. That wasn't that long ago in the grand scheme of things, VCRs and DVDs and all that.
It really wasn't.
No. But you think of what's changed since then. A hell of a lot.
It's what you call a very rapid exponential just increase
explosion, yeah.
And just the complete change, societal change that has caused to completely like wipe out a basically an entire segment of industry. Now it's there's no reason, there's no point in having a place where you go and you buy a physical copy of a movie or something like that. Of course, I'm still one of these dinosaurs who I like to have at least like my music collection downloaded. You know what I mean? Like,
there's
have
some
a backup.
people that still love vinyl, but is there people that still yearn and hold on to like VCR tapes and stuff like that? Remember was it Betamax as well? Was that the other one? What was the other one?
There was 8 tracks and cassettes and
the cassettes, man.
I got a lot of cassettes still. Actually, I have a whole bunch of music CDs still. Because I'm big into music, I collected I bought a lot of music CDs and also acquired a lot through trading and stuff like that. And a lot of my music collection was actually stolen quite a few years ago. I left. I had one of those big. Remember, you used to have to carry around your music in one of those big books, CD books.
Yep. Yep.
You unzipped and you flip through it, and yeah. I left one of my CD books over at someone's apartment, and their roommate took off with it. So I lost a lot of my music that way. But yeah, I still have a bunch of CDs. I like to try and
ZX has got it. Betamax. Yeah, that's it. I couldn't remember. That's the one we had over here. We had Betamax or VHS.
Yeah, that was like the competitor to VHS, and I think VHS
it just never took off, man. Right? Look at you can tell the age of people. We must have an audience round about our age. They're all. Yeah, you see, it gets the nostalgia going, doesn't it, when you think back to a simpler time in Blockbusters? But it says here, I had a customer come in and she said, I'm so grateful that you reopened because I couldn't flip through Netflix one more time. Now, this is a conversation I have with my mum a lot, and it infuriates me a little. And she's probably listening right now, but she always says, Scott, can't find anything to watch on Netflix. Now, come on now. If you can't find anything to watch on Netflix, you can't be using the menus right. Now, I'm not saying everything on there is going to be of a high standard, but to say you can't find anything,
That's more of like a first world problem. It's like, look, we've got satellite TV and we've got like 600, 700 channels. And then my mom and stuff are like, man, there's nothing on. I'm like, no, there's something on. It's just nothing.
She's messaged. That's how long a delay there is in the stream then, Scott. About that long. She's laughing. She's laughing so far, But
okay.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, there's something on. It's just nothing that you want to watch. I mean, my mom would be completely content with just like one news channel, like One American News and the Travel Channel. Any channel that like has ghosts.
She'll have a go at me when she finds something she likes. Her and Frank, my stepdad, She'll go, why didn't you tell me about this program? I think to myself, might not have known about it, maybe didn't think it was your cup of tea. I don't, log Netflix listings in my head.
Yeah, my mom's the same way. It's like,
it's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
I mean,
and then when I do recommend something, right, the odd time I do recommend something, when I ask, how did you like that, I get the face. As soon as I see the face, I know that it didn't go well, right? And I think to myself, well, you moan when I don't give you programs. You moan when I do. I don't know. You just can't win. So, the phone goes again, man. Oh, Pearlie's getting mad.
You better calm down, Kev. Better slow your roll.
Looking for quality, not quality. Wait, no. Who knows? Back to our blockbusters, right? Let's see what's going on then. Is it a Mandela? Have we fallen into the tramp's pocket? Oh, it's from Vice. A lot of good stories on Vice this week. Yeah, a lot of good stories out there on Vice.
Vice is starting to get back on my good side a little bit.
Oh, come on now, Scott. Even though you're talking to the Vice man,
Yeah, you are the Vice man. Even though they're extremely woke, a little too woke.
What happened to them, man? When I spoke to them, right? They were kind of like quasi alt media, quasi kind of truthery type stuff. They gave me a rather a fair hearing, after all,
that's what happens when you have a little bit of cognitive infiltration.
A little bit of that Soros money coming in through the back door, man. Hey, George, you want to get in touch? I'll happily take some of your George bucks off you, no problem. Yes, indeedy. This time next week, I'll be reading out the UN Charter.
That'll get a lot of stuff started, Kev. Just you saying that.
Good.
I'm sure.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Hey, if it gives people something to talk about, it takes their mind off everything else, right? So it says here on its website, the world's last blockbuster video. They say that like it's like a Tyrannosaurus Rex or a pterodactyl or something, Scott. Like it's almost extinct. No, I mean, we need to clone it now. We need to save its DNA and clone it. Upload it to the cloud. Oh wait, that's what got rid of Blockbuster in the first place. Boom, boom. So it says it sells its own made in Oregon merch with t-shirts, hoodies, and foam trucker hats, all printed with the almost extinct chains torn ticket logo. It also offers laminated replicas of the once ubiquitous membership cards and a bumper sticker that says, "I survived along with the last Blockbuster," in already distressed capital letters. A few months ago, that might have sounded less defiant, less accomplished, and less we're still here. But that was before buying tater tots required drawing complicated schematics for the supermarket. Before we started bartering with our neighbours, your sourdough starter for my coffee filter, face masks, and before we ever dreamed we'd be nostalgic for pressing elevator buttons with our bare fingertips. It's been just over a year since the world's last Blockbuster became, exactly that. So Scott, here's the Alaska one you're talking about. After the Blockbuster stores in Alaska locked their doors, the one in Perth, Australia collected its last late fee and turned off its light. The 20-year-old Bend, Oregon location became the only Blockbuster left on the planet. There you go. And in fact, there's some of the merch there. Yeah, look at that, man. And that looks pretty 80s merch. I mean, don't you want that hoodie at $40? Come on, Scott. That's a bargain, man.
You know what? They would make a killing if they actually went back to doing what they do.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
Well, it looks like there's DVDs in there, dude.
It does look like that. Like
new releases. Yeah. Hang on, maybe. Yeah, they've got movies, man. Way.
Wow, so they're selling or renting DVDs, and okay. I mean, if they're still doing that, I guess.
Yeah.
People just go in for the nostalgia, you know, get a hold of an actual physical copy, rent a copy. I don't know. Pretty interesting.
I reckon franchises of that could be quite interesting. Now, it mentioned Australia there, and I think we can break things up now with a little bit of comedy. And I think the best comedy always comes, Scotty boy. I think you agree with me, right? Something about these Australians that just makes them, and I don't mean funny as in, oh, look at them, they're funny. I mean, they're funny. They're like naturally comedic. They just have to talk, and it flows out of them, man. They've got the accent going. They've got sunshine. They've got kangaroos that could knock out a man with a big beard. They've got everything down there, dude. Sheilas. Everywhere Sheilas, man.
Indeed.
But they've also got... Tell them what they've also got, Scott.
They've got the Aussie man.
They do.
And, dude, you want to talk about comedic gold? An absolute legend in my mind. Aussie man is a legend.
Yeah. We were talking about this, weren't we? We were thinking that, like, mothers around Australia probably look at their infant sons and think, when you grow up, I would love you to be like Aussie man. Don't they? Fathers beam with pride when they hear their son slip that first F-bomb out, you know?
That's where I utilized the word, Kev, because I said he was the quintessential Aussie.
That's it, dude. We remembered it. We got the context for it. So are you ready to see the quintessential Aussie man? You won't see him, but you'll hear him. We've watched him before. He's got over 3 million subscribers. The guy's an absolute legend. And we had to take a look at what he was talking about this week because he's getting into something we've spoke about on the show before.
And also, people, if you haven't already, head over to his channel and subscribe.
I will drop a link to the channel in there right now. It's always good content. It's funny. Here we go. What's he got to say about the murder hornets?
Dakely, here we have an Asian giant hornet, also known as Vespa matarinia. But because a living one has been found in America, and Americans are bloody good at marketing, it's now rebranded as a murder hornet.
That is a good name, though. Whoever came up with that, though, I mean, come on. I mean, the Latin always sounds cool. You know, creepiest, crawliest, or whatever it's called, right? But murder hornet's got a better feel to it, right?
Yeah. Whoever came up with that, kudos to them.
Big time. Do you think it's like the super soldier of the insect world? Do you think other insects look at that and go, genetically modified?
Yes, it's the Anunnaki Foot Clan of the insect world.
Yeah, well, they sit around doing their little pincer type thing. You know, that's making their noises at each other. Bloody murder hornets.
What a bastard. Yeah, nah, seriously, they are fair dinkum wankers. They mostly bully bees. A survey conducted...
Only Australians get away with saying fair dinkum. How stupid that sounds, saying fair dinkum. Shut up, Baker, you absolute pleb. No, you know, it doesn't work, you know?
It just flows off. It just flows off in that Aussie accent. It just flows so well, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Fair dinkum. Go, try say it, Scott.
Yeah, fair dinkum. No, it sounds.
Imagine Popeye or Joe if we said to them at the end of something, "No, fair dinkum, Popeye." Fair what? I'll dinkum you.
Fair dinkum, and it's like, yeah, okay.
Fair dinkum, mate.
In Japan, found that 85% of bees reckoned they were absolutely fucking fed up with murder hornets. They steal food from the bees' fridge, they munch on unborn princesses, they act like they want to be friends when all they want to do is decapitate the bees and store their bodies in a freezer back at HQ.
They're like aliens, man. They've come from somewhere else, Scott. They were some other world's problem, dude. They got through a portal or something. You know?
Yeah, that is literally some like nightmarish. Like, if you were a bee and something like that descended on you, wouldn't that be like some horrific
That's like
alien
a
invasion?
Nephilim. That's like a Nephilim insect, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that thing casts shadows over bees. You know what I'm saying? That looks like a planetary-sized object coming towards a bee. Not good, man. No, got all those mad things that rip them apart and all the rest of it. And like I was explaining the other night, as a military man, I have to take my hat off to the fact that they've kind of strategically kind of spaced out the waves that they come in. And go the first ones, they kind of launch an attack. They go
Yeah,
through
you
it.
want to talk about it's definitely like they've evolved like some cold, calculated, just efficient kill tactics.
Like I
Is
say,
essentially what,
a super
yeah.
soldier, dude. I'm telling you, man.
Mm.
Beetles are also pretty fed up with them. They keep getting decapitated. Rats have been pushed to their limits.
Right. No, right, I'm sorry. But any insect that can take on a rat, I think you lose insect status at that point. You become something else, something dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Again,
no,
as a
no,
wee guy, Scott, as a wee guy, I have to worry about these things. You know?
yeah, they like I said before, they need to get on this. These things need to be eradicated immediately. Immediately. I'm not happy with this situation at all.
Exactly. These pose more of a risk than any bloody pooping penguins down at the South Pole. I'm just saying.
They get stung to death, probably decapitated over time. Mantises have been the only ones attempting to stand up to these pricks for years, but they keep getting decapitated. Joe Rogan would love commentating these fights. The hornets are genuinely good at executing a guillotine, and then they roll, they wear you down, they take you to decapitation town. Every time. It's fucked. Yeah, there it is. Off with your bloody head and your wings. The only chance for the mantis is to catch...
Oh, is that one winning? Is that something actually beating it?
Yeah, the mantis. Hey, the mantis.
Mantis has got it, man. But it sounds like it was a fair fight.
Mm.
I'm saying.
Yeah, if the mantis can get a like basically an advantage, a good hold on it, probably could handle business.
My mum, quite matter of fact, how long do you think they've been on this planet? Oh, I honestly don't know if they're from this planet anymore. That's something alien. I don't remember hearing. I remember a few years ago hearing about crazy things over in Japan, but where did they come from before that? Where were they just lurking about? Were they in lurk mode somewhere? You know, waiting to get activated in some lab somewhere or something, Scott? I don't know.
I sometimes wonder how many species on this planet actually originated from here. You know what I mean? And there was even like some actual sort of scientific like speculation or kind of theories being thrown about of whether octopi were actually from Earth or not. Like I don't know what university it was, but they were like actually kind of taking that sort of mindset seriously and going, well, do octopuses actually come from Earth, or are they an alien, or are they of alien origin? You know, it makes me wonder, like how much of the life that's on this planet really actually originated from here. I mean,
makes
and
you
is it
wonder
really
then when you've got the UFOs going into the ocean and things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we always just say it's a good place for them to hide, good place to have a base, but we know they're doing genetically modified experiments on the cows, right? So who knows? It might literally be like some kind of crazy zoo down here, man.
I mean, and look, you have enough people who already, you know, and I would say I'm in that camp too, you know, wonder, us, you know, humans, are we actually of this planet? the ancient alien theory, or is only some of our genetics, from a primate species that may have already been on the planet, but there's another part of us that may have been spliced in from somewhere else. Who knows? I don't know. It's very interesting. Just
very. And there's nothing new under the sun. So genetic manipulation ain't something that we've discovered. We've rediscovered it. It's just our turn to play about with it. I'm sure it's happened many times before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I know.
So
Murder Hornet.
I wonder if this mantis won.
You think so? I think so. Has it got that bad that there's that little sport on in the world now that we're taking side bets on the mantis versus the murder hornet? we need football back, man. Come on, get it sorted.
Catch them early, then they can relax.
What's that?
Speaking of the alien thing, you got to remember a lot of the alien sightings. They look like mantises, right?
Well, it's weird because a couple of the kind of UFO things I've come across, not trying, just they've ended up having that kind of what you call it, insectoid. Would you call it that? Yeah. Not it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, insectoid.
Yeah, they've had that kind of flavor to them. I don't know. It's why not? Why not, dude? Why not? Different gravity, different conditions. Hey, who knows, man? Bada bing, bada boom. Big beasties in the room. Who knows?
Relax and become the ones that chew on brains. That's what the insect kingdom is all about, chewing on brains and breeding, same as humans. Asian bees have discovered defense tactics. When necessary, they can swarm and raise the temperature around a hornet fuckwit. This means that they end up being toasted. Kill it with...
That's crazy, isn't it? That they surround it and then they heat it up by vibrating.
Yeah, they like vibrate and like flap their wings, and they raise the temperature to a level that
they
actually kills.
Yeah, they literally cook it.
That's pretty crazy. So it just shows, like the evolutionary defense mechanism that eventually kicks in on it eventually evens out, right? It's all about nature equalizes itself at some point, and it might take a while, but whatever prey species, it's going to develop some kind of a defense mechanism, just like, look, the antelope, the ones that survive are the ones that are the fastest, right? They reproduce, they create faster offspring. It makes it much harder for the lion to catch it out on the savannah. So then you end up getting these antelopes that are running almost as fast as a cheetah in some cases, right? Because they've evolved that sort of defense mechanism. It's the same with everything else. Yeah.
Well, I agree with Aldrich in the chat room. Kill it with fire. Yep. The bees have got the right idea.
Fire
Cook it.
is the basic message from Asian bees. Humans don't have a defense tactic really yet, unless we can get coronavirus to take down the murder hornets. That's one strategy in 2020 that we could use. YouTuber Coyote Peterson has let one of them sting him before. Doesn't solve the current issue, but it's entertaining as fuck.
Ah! Oh, this thing's stuck in my arm. Oh!
I couldn't tell you why they want to leave Japan or South Korea. Some say they hitched a ride on a cargo ship. This video clearly shows they were created in a Tokyo lab, however, using Monster energy drinks. Obviously, if someone fed them enough Monster, they could fly across an ocean. This is a case of the bully turning out to have been the bullied. This American expert is like, yeah, if you see a nest, don't panic. I mean, panic a little bit, but don't overly panic or you will die.
Falling in your home is still far more risky, and we don't report murder ladders to the Home Depot.
That's a fair...
Murder ladders.
He has a point.
He does have a point. He does have a point. Murder cars,
Down-to-earth point from another expert. Nonetheless, I'm gonna start being afraid, because whatever Americans become afraid of, we become afraid of too in Australia. It's called trickle-down fear. It's how we operate as allies. Oh, come on, Coyote, get up. It was just a little stinger. Surely it can't be as bad as a crocodile bite. We can find a place for murder hornets down under, actually. After watching how they operate, I'd say they have what it takes to be Australian. They remind me of us.
The Aussie man. Yeah.
Hey, you know what though? I think the murder hornet would have a hell of a hard time dealing with some of the wildlife that's down in Australia. Australia is known for being the capital of
They've got, is it the funnel web spider or something, man?
dude, they've got snakes, spider, anything that is like the most venomous on the planet. It's in Australia. It's just where it is. So, yeah, the murder hornet, it would have a very, very it would have its work cut out for it down in Australia, I think.
Even the wildlife is typically Australian. It's rugged. It gets away with saying things like fair dinkum, and it lives by a billabong. Another thing that you only get in Australia, right?
Billabong.
See? What a place, dude. I'm telling you, man, we need to get there. So, next up, right? Oh, all you mothers out there. Back to Kev's family tips here, or I don't know what we'd call this, like Kevin Scott's parenting tips. Yeah. Might be a good idea the next time you run out of milk or maybe a bit of groceries. When we get back to simpler times when you can go and it won't be a logistical nightmare to nip out to the shop. But one dude that nipped out to the shop, Scotty, he came back with something a little bit more probably than the family bargained for, didn't he?
Yeah, this is
Yes.
Okay.
Let's just get into it. Let's take a look at what's happening here. Picture, what's happening here? I hear you saying, well, mother sends son to buy groceries and he returns with a wife. Yes, indeed. Came at the end of April this year. Ghaziabad in India. So tasked to ensure the enforcement of lockdown in view of what's going on right now. The district's Sahabad or Sahibabad police were on Wednesday surprised when a mother came to the police station complaining that her son, or she had sent her son to buy groceries, but he returned with his wife. So I'd sent my son to do the grocery shopping today, but when he returned, he came back with his wife. I am not ready to accept this marriage, said the teary-eyed mother. So speaking about the marriage, Gudu, good name, 26-year-old groom said, I got married to Savita 2 months ago at an Arya Samaj Mandir in Haridwar. However, we could not get a marriage certificate at the time due to the lack of witnesses. So I had decided to visit Haridwar again for my marriage certificate, but could not do so as, well, we're all staying indoors right now. So after returning from Haridwar, Savita stayed at a rented accommodation in Delhi, and however, today I decided to bring her to my mother's house, and she was told to leave the rented accommodation due to what's going on. So given a solution to the family feud, the Shahibabad police were asked Savita's house owner in Delhi to let the couple stay there. Moral of the story? Oh, probably best not to drop that one on your mum, when you've just nipped out for a pint of milk. Did you get your milk, son? Yeah, I did actually, and I also got my wife with me. Nah, it's not going to go down too well with old mums.
So I take it he got married without the mother knowing? And
by the looks of it, he got married without knowing what he got married to. I'm just saying. I'm not being inappropriate. I'm just saying. Whoa, now we're on Freaky Friday, Scott. How did that happen? Whoa. It's the time where welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're moving into the final segment of today's Freaky Friday. I'm only joking. There we go.
Oh my god.
Wait.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you what, though. I tell you what. This is only half the story, perhaps. Might only be half the story. Wait until his mum finds out it's a dude under all of that. Don't be judgy, Mum. Don't be judgy.
Yeah. It's a surprise package. is what
Shahi
it is.
Babab. It's a woke place. They're getting awfully woke over in Shahi Babab. Hey, I like that as well. Shahi Babab, quintessential, effervescent.
I mean, she don't have to wear a face mask.
Oh, whoosh, zing. Good one. Yeah.
And
yeah,
she's already good to go, I guess.
Very, I would imagine. I'm just trying to see if we've got anything else on here. We do have one more thing. Hang on. We do. Now, this was sent to me earlier on today. This kind of falls under the bizarre, right?
Yeah, this is definitely bizarre.
This comes from Discord. And anyone that's in Discord will think, oh, if it's bizarre for Discord, what on earth is Kev going to be showing here? Because it gets bizarre in there at times, and that's why we love it. Wouldn't be the KBS Discord if it wasn't.
I would put this content, I would say, in the realm of Rudolph the Tall White Alien. It's in that kind of just weird,
risky, weirdy, but compelling.
Yeah, like what is going on here? What
something makes you want to watch more and try and figure out what's going on. Well,
yeah,
get a load of this, folks. I think this came to us. I can't remember who it came to us from. Maybe Jason, maybe. But check this out. And it says here, hang on. You are an invincible star. You're not broken. The moon reflected in unsettled water appears broken into a million pieces. And when the water stills, it is whole again. Ever above, it was whole, reflecting divine glory. So art thou in thy true self, undying light? And that comes from Ye Wise Old Witch. Scott. Are we ready? Will we listen to what Ye Wise Old Witch has got to say? Turn down the lights, folks, because this gets creepy early.
You are not broken. The moon, reflected in unsettled water, appears broken into a million pieces. But then, when the water settles, it is whole again. And ever above, it remained whole, brilliant, reflecting divine glory. And so art thou, even in darkness. There are stars. And if the stars are obscured by clouds, the clouds shall pass and the stars shall shine again. And you are like a star, undimmed and unbroken, ever shining. Even if the clouds may come, know that in thine innermost thou art like a star. Thou hast come from imperishable light, and even thy body is formed of the lightest stars. Those constant stars, looking down upon all your troubles and woes. What are they to the stars? The stars that were here before the world was formed, that will be here when it is long gone. And you, like the stars, are an imperishable light, unborn, ageless, immortal, and invincible. Know that you are not broken. You are an invincible star.
What do we make of that? Right, come on then. Is it real, Scott? Is it a dude in a mask?
I'm leaning towards mask. Especially seeing the work that our buddy John Fuller, can pull off when it comes to masks and doing a lot of that facial art stuff.
But damn good.
If it's not a mask, then whoa.
Oh, whoa, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Imagine bumping into that in a dark night. No offense, but dang, dude. Well, let's have a look, see what else the old witch has been up to. Look at that, man. Whoa, look at that. Holy shigoli, man.
Oh, wow.
It's a bit of a Marilyn Manson type eye thing going on there, dude. Holy shimoly.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards a mask of some sort, but still, I
bet she was good looking back in the day. As in, like, back in Count Dracula's day.
I mean, after so many pints, I think
holy shimoly. Now that got a little dark. That got a little dark. Enough is it. You have enough, you have enough. There is joy enough in you to bear the sorrow. There is hope enough in you to bear the despair. There is love enough in you bear the pain, and listen enough to bear the darkness. There is life in you that death cannot extinguish. Pretty deep, eh?
Very, very, very interesting.
Happiness bloom on the tree of our life, and what a sweetness and comfort they are. We might hold a blossom to our cheek and feel its softness and tenderness, and then...
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a full hood, like full head and shoulders, Scott. What do you think? Like that whole bit here, that's all like latex, man.
Yeah, I think it goes all the way down to the chest.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
It's a full gear, kind of a full.
Like you were saying, Jonathan Fuller. I mean, when you that if it hadn't been for me seeing the quality of those things, I might have actually been kind of woo. But no, I think you're. I mean, look that voice, that shit. I hope like she's got a gig doing like audiobooks. Imagine like scary stories read in.
We grieve when it withers on the bough. Why should we grieve when another blossom in the very same moment is an opening?
Oh my God. I take it back. That's an eeky creaky. That's a witch. Definitely a witch, man. It's
definitely got the laugh down. Definitely to perfection. That laugh was like, look, if Hollywood ever makes another movie with a witch, needing a witch character, they need to contact this person and just have them play, because they have absolutely.
She could play Hillary Clinton. Of the witches of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah, because this person has definitely nailed like the stereotypical like old crow witch thing perfectly.
So do we think it's a gig, or do we think she's like is this a character, or is she like proper like living the witch life? You know what I'm saying? It's like Rudolph. I sometimes wonder, is Rudolph always Rudolph the tall white? Or is he like Hank? Or is he like, Hans or something? Well,
that's why I said this falls into that whole realm of, is the person merely doing a shtick, or are they kind of living out the are they kind of living out the character? Has the person and the character, the lines become blurred between them?
Like method acting, when they they basically live the character, innit? I am the storyteller, the keeper of old tales, guardian of memory, preserver of what must not be forgotten. I tell you what, when all this shenanigans is done with them, we're allowed to get back into brown chicken, brown cow kind of romance in times. I think her and the big tall white should go out for dinner. My name is Rudolph, and I am the tall white alien. And then he could, Rudolph.
Yeah. When Rudolph tells her a joke, she can go.
I'm gonna get that laugh for a sound clip. I am. But I think we're almost out of time here, Scotty boy. I think we're pretty much we've exhausted our, have we? Oh wait a minute, that was a picture of a shadow type entity, wasn't it? Yeah, we've got a new place where we can go for lots of woo, don't we, Scott?
I think we've tapped into another vein of content that we'll be exploring in further streams.
There's people wanting me to read them bedtime stories in my Rudolph or witchy voice. I mean, I'm open to suggestions. I'm pretty flexible at what I will and won't do for money. But I don't know if I could pull off the witchy kind of gig reading you a bedtime story. I don't know if I'd feel comfortable doing that, let alone you or anyone else out there. That's pretty disturbing thought, having me by your bed, reading out a witchy kind of story. I tell you, you people take woo to the next level out there. To the next level, Scott, right?
Yeah, I don't know how comfortable I would feel if I rolled over and Kev was just kind of pulled up next to my bed.
Especially if I was doing my Rudolph. Rudolph, I am here, the tall white alien.
Be like, Kev, we're friends and all, but you're getting a little too familiar.
I'd be like, Scott, Scott, go smell the penguin's ass and just laugh, man. Way.
Yeah. Just huff on this penguin guano and everything will be okay.
Do you reckon if you smoke the penguin guano? How much do you want to bet the scientists have tried it?
I was about to say, humans have figured things out. Just like, I wonder if I eat this, what'll happen? Or I wonder if I smoke this, what'll happen?
Oh, look at that. Oh, my word. Oh, talking of witchy type numbers. Ooh. Algo, I've missed you, brother. I've been working hard.
For a witchy bedtime story, sir.
Thank you very much, Algo. Very much appreciated. I'll put on my cackling voice, my wee witchy voice. I can't do the witchy voice. I bet the people wouldn't believe it that we could get like an actual real wizard on the show. People don't believe that we know an actual wizard, Scott, don't we?
Yes, we actually know a real wizard.
Yep. Should we get him on one time? I don't think the algorithm is written. I don't mean you, Algo, out in the chat room. I mean YouTube's algorithm. I don't know what it would make of Mr. King.
Yes, the wizard that we know, he is not algorithm friendly. So I don't know how that would go. I mean, we might have to coach the wizard a little bit before.
Coach him? You would need to carve out a ventriloquist dummy and just have it impersonating them to have him algorithm friendly, dude. But folks, I want to thank you all. John Nelson in the chat room. Who? Johnny King? You named them in one. Oh, mammoth. Oh, look. There's the Australian. She comes wandering in now after we've had our much fun with the Australian kind of angle tonight with the Aussie man on mammoth, our favourite Australian. And as an Australian woman, can you confirm or deny that when you see somebody like the Aussie man, as Scott would put it, is he the quintessential Australian? If you had a son, I know you've got two girls, but if you had a little boy, wouldn't you want him to grow up to be like the Aussie man? I want to prove this either way now, Scott. I want to go to bed tonight knowing,
We need confirmation on this because for me, Aussie man is the He's just the quintessential Australian.
I think so. Yep. Yep. Steve Irwin, he was the one of his time. He was a legendary Australian. Thank you very, very much.
Love you
Laurie.
guys, keep on keeping on. Yes, bedtime story.
Yes, bedtime stories for Laurie. I got to do a bedtime story for Leslie.
Look, Rachel in the chat. Another confirmation of the wizard.
Yep.
No.
Yep. Oh, and Algo says that Popeye could be a wizard of sorts. He could be. We still got the Florida dude, man. We missed out the Florida guy.
Oh, yeah, we got to get to him.
You really don't know who the Aussie man is? Oh, he F's, he blinds, he drinks beer, he watches kangaroos fighting. He makes lots of inappropriate jokes about Sheilas with her bits hanging out, and he loves Mexican weather women. I don't know if you've seen his Mexican weather women kind of collection, Scott, but the Aussie man, he's a bit of a ladies guy, you know? He calls things sport. He gets away with calling, like, saying fair dinkum. He lives by a billabong, you know? That kind of guy.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm a fan of Mexican weather women too. Just saying.
I'm quite partial to most weather women. Mexico, absolutely. Absolutely. Don't ask me what the weather's like in Mexico, but the Weather Channel, really good. Yep. Rachel in there. Rachel's not only a long-time listener, Rachel is a long-time lurker, and she's been on the show. She came on the show to talk about her paranormal experiences after she phoned in one day. Yep. Mammoth, you'll need to look it up now. We've watched him on here before. It was the guy that talked about... Remember the girl that thought she was a horse, Scott? Remember she was galloping along, jumping over things? And will we try and find that one before we go? No, I got struck for that one last time, actually. Let's take it out.
Mammoth said that literally sounds like her husband.
Yeah, we're right then. It's just your average, typical Australian. He loves cricket. He loves Aussie rules football. He likes the rugby. Yep. Big time. Big time. Fair dinkum. Exactly. Florida man. Somebody reminded me. Let me find the Florida man before we let you get back about your business today. Let me see. Did I lose the Florida man, Scott? That's okay. Because we'll find it again. Pensacola, wasn't it?
Yes.
There we go. There we go. Yes. What? Right. We do. Myself and Scotty, we do from time to time. More often than not, we have a Florida man story, don't we?
Yeah, and as soon as I saw the headline, like I was already leaning. I was like, okay, this is definitely Florida material. And then I saw Pensacola, and of course, Kev doesn't know where Pensacola is located, being that he's in the UK. But as soon as I saw Pensacola,
stupid, one of these stupid pommies, you know.
It's okay. It's okay. But when I saw Pensacola, I was like, Florida.
Scott, you've got cities that are bigger than the UK. We're just an insignificant set of islands. Nobody cares about us anymore. So let's take a look at this genius over here. Sounds like a good fight, though. Says, man stabbed with a homemade throwing star during a downtown Pensacola fight. Now, I'm hoping by the state of his face that he won. Well, he looks like he lost, but it's by the sounds of it. We haven't really dug into it yet, but this must be like the offender. So, I mean, what does the other dude look like? Dang, man. So it says here, a man was arrested downtown Pensacola after the victim says he had a jabby thing. He jabbed him with a homemade throwing star. So Robert Hartsock. How come he doesn't have three names? Usually stories in America, any crazy dude has three names. I don't know why. It just seems to be. Unless you're from Florida. So he's charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Pensacola police report they responded to the coroner of South Palafox Street and East Garden Street Thursday around 2 p.m. to find the victim holding Hardock's face in a flower bed. The victim told Hartsock had a knife that looked like a homemade throwing star, and he'd just cut him. The victim states that he was walking or he was talking to someone when the dude just walked up to him and started mouthing off to him, then pulling out a sharp object and came at him. A totally unprovoked attack, Scott, and no picture of the homemade throwing star. I'm disappointed. I wanted to see what this object, shall we call it, probably nothing like a homemade throwing star. It's probably a penknife or something, man.
No, it probably was a homemade throwing star. I mean, this is definitely Florida man material here, and people, we have a problem here. People thinking they're ninjas and that they're.
Is it like a bad thing? Like when you go down the street, do you see the odd like person kicking about with a black belt on and kind of moving, you know, in the shadows?
People have watched way too many kung fu films, and yeah, I don't know.
Everybody's kung fu fighting.
It reminds me of this incident that happened. Oh man, I don't even know how many years ago it was, but there's like video of it. There was this guy who was in a standoff with police, and he was like carrying a katana, and like he was like walking around like a ninja, or like he was Blade or something like that, and he tried to like rush the SWAT team and do like a whole bunch of like spinning kicks and kung fu, and even, you know, normally I guess that would probably get your ass shot, you know,
normally,
but they knew that this dude was just, I mean, it was like, come on. So they just started drilling him with those pellets that disperse that's kind of like tear gas pellets. They just started dumping on him with those, and they eventually subdued him. But the video was so funny because it was like he literally thought that he was gonna like take on a SWAT team with a katana sword in his homemade kung fu. It was pretty wild.
That reminds me almost of Sikh Fight Club, a show that may or may not have happened. Some people remember it, some don't. Radio classic, Scott Lopez, golden radio moment was Sikh Fight Club. That was another show. That was a more simpler time as well, right? Wasn't it? That was a far easier time.
It was a much simpler time when
you could say what you wanted.
when you didn't have to do the old algorithm gymnastics.
Yeah, back in the Wild West, man. I remember the day. I remember the days. I'm telling you, just a fire and forget, not a care in the world. Now look what you got to do. Algorithm Olympics. But we love it here. We do. And I want to thank all of you for being here today. I'll be back with Bill Bean tomorrow. Warrior mode. We're going to be getting into Fall McCartney. Yes, indeed. And again, I'm really enjoying exploring some of these topics with Bill. And it gives Bill a chance to show off some of the other stuff apart from me always interrogating him about being an exorcist and all his stuff that he goes and does. I get excited, Scott, you know? So it lets people see another side of Bill.
Yeah, Bill is a very knowledgeable dude in many different areas, and he can talk about a lot of different things as well. You know, he's a multi-dimensional person, I guess you could say.
Yeah, he had me when he turned around and said, Kev, I can show you where UFOs are mentioned in the Bible over 60 times. And I thought, me and this guy, we're going to be friends. And we have been ever since. Yes, indeed. Great guy, man. Great guy. And we do the show live over on KBS One, but it's unlisted. We do it Metacur style. Once it's done, it's fire and forget. It's out of there. It's like a smart stream, because once it's happened, it's gone. Well, almost, because then I put it onto Bill's channel and he keeps it over there. I think it's episode 9 or 10 we're into already of Warrior Mode. And then hopefully, if it doesn't go on too long, maybe we'll get another stream after it tomorrow night. I don't know, not too sure. Can't promise. I'm not going to promise anything that I can't 100% guarantee. Because sometimes when you do the one stream, you'll know what it's like, Scott. It's great when you're on the stream, but the minute you come off it, it's like the adrenaline and everything just kind of whoa. It hits you. And then the thought of going right into another one, it's like, wow. And again, sometimes it just doesn't feel right. But then other times when I do it, I've got the vibe, we're into it. So we'll try. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's no, I totally feel what you're saying, man. Because sometimes we come down from the high off of a really, really good show, and then it's almost like a crash, you know. You're like, oh, and then if you're gonna try to gear up for another one, it just doesn't have the same vibe. And of course, we want to provide the best content for you guys out there. And you know, if we're not feeling it, then you're not gonna feel it, you know. So
exactly. And tomorrow is going to be a special day. It could be a special day because I think I'm going to take you all fishing with me tomorrow afternoon. Yes.
Is this fishing game, is it free?
Well, I've got the Game Pass. Man's got the Xbox Game Pass thing, so if you've got the Game Pass, it allows you to download games. I don't think it's an expensive game. It doesn't strike me as being a top shelf, you know. I don't think everyone was after this, but yes, tomorrow, folks, we can do some fishing. I'll have some ghost stories or some woo pulled up so that when I'm waiting for a fish to bite.
So we're literally talking about some like campfire stories while we're waiting for the fish.
Get the fishing rod out there, leave out there, you know, crack open the story. Oh, wait for a bite. Oh, there we go. We got it. Oh, start the fight, you know.
It's this social distancing, this whole thing. It's gone a little crazy. You know, we're at a point now where we're doing virtual fishing trips and story time with Kev.
Story time and fishing with Kev. And not even any ordinary story time, in a witchy voice, no less. Yes. So listen, folks, I bid you farewell. As does Mr. Scotty. Mr. Scott. Are you on tomorrow, Mr. Scott?
I have no idea, Shab. I just do what
Shab.
Oh, man.
Funny. Too funny. Oh, yes. People are thinking, what are they laughing at? Ah, well, you know.
Anyway.
Oh, big man. Dang, dude. People are loving the idea of virtual fishing. Mammoth. Oh, Mammoth. Oh, Mammoth wants me to stay. You know, I'd love to stay longer, but I'm about to piss myself laughing. Oh, Scotty boy. Damn, dude.
Oh,
damn. Right, so tomorrow, folks, you're more than welcome to come fishing with me. Dude, what can you do? Finally lost it. Finally lost the plot. So, listen, if you want to come fishing with me tomorrow, keep an eye on the channel. Maybe Scott will show up just to laugh at me. Hey, it's something new, Scott, something fun. And if we can't go fishing in the real world right now, I will take you virtual fishing with me. So, any final thoughts, Scotty, before we... Will I ask you again, are you on tomorrow night on TFR?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Mr. Everard is a busy man, and I just follow his lead. So if he decides he's gonna go on,
too much, man. Somebody's asking to bring Bill fishing. Maybe Bill will be up for a bit fishing. I don't know. We can go fishing and talk about Paul McCartney. Hey, what's this? Yeah, us Aussies need a Sunday sleep in. I'm forgetting. It's Sunday morning over there now, isn't it? See, I forget, but I usually do the clock thing for America. See, trying to think the other way for Australia, it shouldn't really be that difficult, right? It's just like go forward instead of back, but oh, it makes my brain hurt, dude. It really makes the brain hurt. It's like when you've got Max Egan on, you're like, you're having to say to him, so about 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, he needs to get up and do a show with you, and then you're thinking, midnight over here, it's like 2 p.m. on the West Coast. It all gets confusing, dude. All these time zones, not easy for me to keep up with. You can't keep everyone happy, right?
It took me so long trying to work out the time zone differences between the UK and the US, and because I live in the central time zone, we don't ever get like talked about. Everybody always refers to things on Eastern time or Pacific time, and it's like Central time and Mountain time doesn't even exist to anybody half the time. So you have to like work out the differences and stuff. And I've just the easy way I've remembered it is, since I live in the Central time zone, you guys are exactly 6 hours ahead of us. Yep. So if it's 12 o'clock here, then it's 6 o'clock over there.
Yep. And there's somebody in the chat room saying, Kev, it's Sunday morning in the UK. Again, though, my body's that used to like East Coast time. It feels about 10 p.m. to me. So, the body clock, it's shot, Scott. It's shot. It's gone. Joys of being on a globe. Eh?
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? It's like I have a lot of Aussie friends, because pretty much ever since I got out of school, my whole schedule has been nocturnal. I'm a nocturnal person, so I sleep during the day and I'm up during the night. I have what we call the third shift sleep schedule, and so I made a lot of friends online over the years, and a lot of those friends are Aussie, because most of the people I've communicated with, chat rooms and all of that stuff, they're Aussies. They're up during the day, and most Americans are asleep at night. Yep. So pretty interesting, you know.
Again, joys of living on that big spinny globe thing, eh? Time zones, it's a killer. Anyway, we are out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, no penguins were harmed in the making of this. Beards probably weren't ever growing to protect you from any kind of physical violence. Be careful when you're in Florida. If you're ever in Bend, Oregon, you can hire yourself a Blockbuster. And I think that pretty much wraps up everything. Oh, and we found a new character. We don't know if it's a witch, a wizard, a warlock, a mask, or what it is. But we're going to keep you posted. Until next time. Take care, stay safe, and don't do anything we wouldn't do. Which really, doesn't rule out much, does it? So we're out of here. Keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. Oh, why is the scary music still on? That just doesn't go with that penguin. How cute is that penguin, Scott? Who knows? Who knew? Who knew that penguin guano could be so potent? Okay, hang on. I need to check the date of our show. My work's never done, Scotty. Yeah, so the show with Luna and with Mammoth from Down Under will be at, well, it's Saturday, the 23rd of May, and it's going to be evening time over in Australia. So, whatever time Mammoth and our guests want to come on at, for once, I'm going to go with the Australian time. And it'll be daytime here in the UK. It might be early sunrise, middle of the night in America. But we're going for the Australian audience because we're going to be getting into some good old Australian woo. Oh, yeah.